Sicario, Day of the Soldado doesn't live on this side of the border. Benicio del Toro and Josh Brolin star in. Starring Benicio del Toro, Josh Brolin, Isabella Moner, Jeffrey Donovan, Manuel Garcia Rulfo, Matthew Modine, Shea Wiggum, Elijah Rodriguez and Catherine Keener. Directed by Stefano Sollima. Opens Friday at major theaters. 122 minutes. 14A, no rules this time. James Brolin tells Benicio del Toro's title hitman in Sicario, Day of the Soldado, and that sounds a lot like what he said the last time, in Denis Villeneuve's original drug war thriller from 2015. What this blood-splattered sequel truly lacks is Villeneuve at the helm, Emily Blunt in front of the camera and a cinematographer Roger Deakins behind it, plus late Icelandic composer Jóhann Jóhannsson on the soundtrack. Article continued below. That's a serious list of deficits. Yet somehow Soldado gets by, thanks to strong performances, a script by returning Sicario scribe Taylor Sheridan that deepens understanding of familiar characters and a current, grim reality that makes bellicose Americans threatening foreign states and people seem all the more plausible. It's directed by Stefano Sollima, whose resume bona fides include the Gomorrah Gangland series for Italian TV. He lacks Villeneuve's flair for crafting mood and menace, but he conjures a reasonable facsimile that's even more violent, especially in the action scenes, which include an attack on a convoy of Humvees on a dirt road that recalls Sicario's pulse racing border bridge showdown. The US-Mexico boundary is again the focus of attention, but Soldado pays less attention to the drug trafficking that fueled Sicario and more into the bandidos behind it. Film is also less concerned with the larger question of whether it's right for U.S. government and law officials, who pledge allegiance to a flag representing high American ideals, to engage in covert ops that clearly don't hold to accepted notions of truth and justice. Brolin's ruthlessly engaging CIA operative Matt Graver is more cutthroat than ever, emboldened by the expanded lethal latitude of what we presume is now the Trump administration. Dirty is exactly why you're here, Matthew Modine's defense secretary character assures him. It's not just the boys playing macho. Catherine Keener cameos as an equally cynical CIA superior. Benicio del Toro stars in Sicario, Day of the Soldado. Richard Foreman photo, from left, Josh Brolin, from left, Jeffrey Donovan and Benicio del Toro in Sicario, Day of the Soldado. Richard Foreman Jr. AP, the dirty tricks are supposedly justified via prologue scenes of cross-border suicide bombers, including a Kansas City supermarket attack blamed on Mexico. The American plan is to have Mexican drug cartels destroy themselves by covertly turning them against each other, without the U.S. government being implicated. That's a tall order, but Graver pays a return visit to a man he's confident will deliver maximum impact and total discretion, taciturn ex-cartel hitman Alejandro del Toro, whom we meet again as he's coldly dispatching a nameless baddie. Alejandro's new task, which he will decide to accept, is to kidnap schoolgirl Isabel Moner, a revelation, the 12-year-old daughter of cartel kingpin Carlos Reyes. Alejandro and his CIA accomplices are to make it seem a rival cartel did the monstrous deed. Article continued below. That surname will sound familiar to Sicario fans. Carlos Reyes was the backstage Señor Big who ordered the killing of Alejandro's wife and daughter, although it was a mid-level underling and his family, who felt Alejandro's payback wrath, in the previous movie's most memorable and chilling scene. The dismay of Graver, but to the benefit of the movie, Isabel proves to be a tougher cookie than anyone expected and Alejandro proves to have something more than ice water in his veins. His humanity will also be challenged by a 14-year-old U.S. citizen, who is part of a subplot involving human trafficking. As Alejandro starts to question the wisdom and morality of the kidnapping caper, he effectively assumes the symbolic role of public conscience represented by Blunt's FBI agent Kate Macer in Sicario. At the end of that movie, Alejandro accused Kate of being a dove in the land of the wolves. Who's the dove now, and which nation is really the land of the wolves?